Monday Night Muses, how are we feeling tonight? Monday Night Muses, 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 Monday Night Muses. That stream was from a phone. I know, right? So it's a funny story. I think my looper's a little too loud. Need to work on that. That's a little better. So, still a little loud. All right, so here's the story. We had a sound check on Saturday. Everything sounded great. He was going in through a USB mic. It sounded really good. We made some adjustments. We decided how we would set things, like where he'd put his amp, how far back he'd stand. Everything sounded great. I'm like, you look great, you sound great. It's going to be a great show. And then we log on at 10 to 7 today, and it's fine. And I'm like, still sounds good, let's go. And then the instant we went live, everything went wrong, and we don't know why. Welcome to Monday. Whatever. Am I looking hella goth today? Thank you. My secret is having only black clothes in my closet and not washing my hair as often as I probably should. Accidentally goth. Accidentally goth. Accidentally goth. Accidentally goth. I'm your accidental goth girlfriend. What are you gonna do about it? I'm your accidental goth girlfriend. Do I have any cool goth sounds? Probably not. Let me ruin this loop right now. That was my accidental goth song. I don't think I did a very good job. I'm not a goth songwriter. Or am I? I don't really know. I don't know what's required. Anyway. I have night mode on, so the bottle also looks extra goth on the black background. Yeah, right? I know. I have like a black background for comments, so when I put it up, it does look pretty goth. Anyway, thanks, y'all. Thanks for the nifty bottle cap emotes. Are you over here doling out gift subs? Thank you, Suze. You goth to be kidding me. All right. Hi, it's Monday Night Muses. How are we feeling? I'm going to play with a more real sound. I'm going to open with my brand new song because I feel like doing that and no one can stop me. And after that, I was actually thinking we might do Up From Here because it's been that kind of a day for me. And maybe you guys too. Like, what a Monday vibe. So if you got requests, hit me up. You know, I do all originals on Monday Night Muses. So if you have original requests, hit me up. If you have cover requests, they will be deferred to next Sunday. Where's my grand piano? That's not the one I want. Classical grand, that's the sound I like. All right. Ooh, Misha just played Vulture in a word game, so maybe some point I appreciate. By the way, Misha, you sent me some links, which I assume are thingies I should listen to, and I'm sorry that I haven't yet, but I intend to. I'm sitting here. Y'all can appreciate how this is. I'm leaving the messages unread in my phone so that it annoys me every time I look at it, so that I have the reminder to go listen to it. Hey, Claire Bear, how you doing? So this next song is called Unlock Me. I wrote it like a week or two ago, and it kind of downloaded itself to my brain. I don't always like when people say that. Like I like that, like as a songwriter, sometimes things feel very intuitive, but I want to still give songwriters and artists credit for creating their work. You know what I mean? Like that's just the nature of creating. But it did feel like this song came at me in a friggin' rush. And I felt really grateful for that because honestly, right now I'm busy enough that that's the way songs are getting through. That's the way we're managing. So this is called Unlock Me. But before I get started, let me ask you my standard 3 questions. Oh my God, Suze, you gave out 5 community subs. You're wonderful and delightful. Thank you so much. Also, I want to thank you all. I'm celebrating. I think I made an announcement about this last night, but I've got more people tuned in now, so I'll make an announcement again. We hit 300 followers last week, and I'm so, so grateful for that. Thank you for being a part of that. I'm really, really thankful. Oh, I never put my banners up. Let me do that. Monday Night Muses with Rorie Kelly. Look at that. Look, it's my banners. All right. And you know what? I'll put my links in the chat. I'm always putting my guest links. Now y'all can have mine too. I like how you're already answering, and I don't think I asked yet. So number 1, where are you tuned in from? I am tuned in from Long Island, New York, on the East End, but not all the way east, east-ish. Number 2, what you sipping on? I have a bottle of water, and I have a glass of wine. I've not mastered the art of turning the water into the wine, so I had to get them separately. And number 3, how are you feeling? How are you feeling tonight? I want the honest answer. I don't want the polite answer. We're honest with each other. We show up for each other. This is a safe space in this chat. Keith Richards always said that for him, writing it was like songs were transmitted to him. That's really interesting. I always think it's interesting when I hear a writer like talk about their process, and then it makes me want to go listen back to their songs, like thinking about, you know, like, I don't know, like in that context. Really interesting. Yes. Thank you. Thank you for these delightful emojis. Tune in from Greenpoint, Brooklyn tonight. So you recorded in Greenpoint. I didn't know that. I have not this album, but the album before I recorded partly in with a Greenpoint producer named Riley McMahon, New Warsaw Studios, and I really, really enjoyed working with him. Probably not the same person who produced you, but I think that's cool, making albums in Greenpoint. I'm here for it. Okay, water also, but kind of ran out of water about 4 songs before the end of my set. Oops, I feel that pain. I feel it. Gee, I mean, I can't imagine. It's not like anything with your set went at all awry for you to for you to have any kind of problems. My goodness. Y'all, we usually do better than this here. We're all just doing our best though. And yeah, the technology pixies, they were not with us. Tune in for my comfy couch and newish TV. Ooh, with a White Claw. Someone get this girl a White Claw. And existentially burnt and crispy. I'm very happy to be here relaxing. I love it. And Super Susanna is going to get a play today because Susanna's been giving out gift subs. So you deserve your theme song. First new song, then Vulture, then Super Susanna. That's what's on the docket. And then at some point we'll do Poetry Corner. You know what? I might do Poetry Corner correctly at 8:30 because I did let the poet know that I would be reading his poems at 8:30. So we'll do a new song, Poetry Corner, Vulture, Super Susanna. Yep. Thank you for coming to my planning session. Is there a planet swimming and also up from here? Thank you. Is there a planet swimming in electrolytes again? Honestly, it feels like it. Like literally, Nick and I were troubleshooting his set, like his setup, which worked fine in sound check. And I'm like, is Mercury in retrograde? Like, hang on, I'm going to check. I literally opened up a tab and no, Mercury does not go retrograde until September 9th. So we're just lucky. We're just lucky today. Like, oh well, what are you gonna do? All right, anyway, this is a song. It is called Unlock Me, and I'm for realsies gonna play it for you. She came ashore, wanting and wanting, tired of being a secret, tired of waiting. Unlock me, unlock me. I'm a door that you can't keep shut anymore. She came ashore, kicking and tangled, pulling at her own bonds, not waiting for help. She came ashore, only desiring, unwilling to be treated less than she was. Unlock me, unlock me. I am a door that you can't keep shut anymore. Unlock me, unlock me. I am salty and complex and free, too big to confine, too real to define. You'll never get me back in there again. I am the box you struggle to open, agonize over. I am the freedom you feared for so long, wanting and worrying. I am the cause and effect of your sharp beating heart. Unlock me, unlock me. Why would I play my song right that I've played right so many times, but not tonight? Unlock me, unlock me. Oh, unlock me, unlock me. Unlock me, unlock me. Don't ask me to be less. Don't insult me by shading your eyes from the shine rolling off me in waves. I am the deal with the fate, the sweet final yes. Unlock me, unlock me. Scream my name to the mountains, honor me finally. Unlock me, unlock me. I am the fire they warned you about, salt on the flames, growing violet, green, blue. I am the sweet, chaotic unwinding of all of the things you thought that you knew. Unlock me, I dare you, do not let me down. I'm the flower that blooms in the winter, I'm the sailor who joyfully drowns, the soft singing of secrets, finally exhaling. Unlock me, I dare you, do not let me down. Thanks, y'all. So that song's called Unlock Me. I was talking with my dad today. I'm finally going back in the studio on Thursday. And he was like, you keep writing these new songs and you're like, and people can't hear them anywhere and we need to work on that. And I'm like, you're correct. And so we made a studio date. So we're going to do a little bit of work on circling on Thursday. Thank you. I'm like, I sing that line, and as I sing it, I'm like, am I gonna, like, that Simpsons meme with Ralph Wiggum where he's like, I'm in danger. I'm like, am I attracting the Faye's attention? But you know what? I have the like millennial like black humor situation where I'm like, hey Faye, it would be a shame if someone were to take me away to fairyland right now. Oh no, leave behind all of my adulting responsibilities and just get stuck in fairyland forever. That would be a real bummer. Anyway, swooning and lurking. I love it. Is mercuryretrograde.com. That is in fact exactly where I went. Yes. Can you play the one about speaking in an accent that isn't yours? Wait. Do I have a song about that? Do I have a song about that? Tell me what song it is. Help me out. Okay, we're going to do Poetry Corner, everybody, because it's 8:32. So let's get into record, because I always record Poetry Corner. Okay, new deal. Every time there's an audio glitch, take a drink. Bonk. Please feel free to drink something non-alcoholic. If there are a lot of audio glitches, I'm not trying to get you all drunk. All right. Convenient? Okay. Is it? I don't know. Is it? I would do it. Let me go get the rum and coke. Oh, we're playing a drinking game about audio problems? Hang on. Give yourself a light pour because it's been a rough day for audio. Yes, go in and get in the iced tea. I'm here for it. Drinking games are not just for alcohol. In fact, if you're not drinking alcohol, it's probably better because they just hydrate you. Like it's just like happy-go-lucky hydration. What a life. I love it. I really enjoy that. Didn't they just turn on the Large Hadron Collider? Do you think that's why? It's about me. The Large Hadron Collider is why I had audio problems on my show today. Obviously, it targeted me in particular. I believe you that I wrote that line, and I'm trying to think, or something like it, and I don't know. If more lines come to you, tell me. And if I think of what song I wrote that is like that, I'll also play it. Okay, Poetry Corner. Oh, you know what? I wrote a poem like that, which I will read for you later. But first, I will read for you the poetry of Jack Zaffos. Let's get started. Thank you so much for tuning in to Poetry Corner tonight. My name is Rorie Kelly, and we do Poetry Corner every Monday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, live on my Twitch channel. It's during my Monday Night Muses show. Monday Night Muses runs from 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern, and I always feature a different opener with original music for you, followed by me with songs, stories, poems, and shenanigans every night, every Monday night from 7 to 9. And around 8:30 is when we do Poetry Corner, and I feature as many poets as I can. I know a lot of talented poets, and I'm lucky enough that I have been introduced to more talented poets since I started doing Poetry Corner. And the poet I'm going to share with you today is one of those. This is the poetry of Jack Zaffos. And if you enjoy it, I really hope you will look him up at jackzaffos.com. How do you spell that, Rorie? I'm glad you asked. JackZaffos.com. I'm going to start off with a poem called The Night That Rosie Took You Home. I'll start it off with a better loop. The night that Rosie took you home. She had danced that evening, and she saw your eyes glisten. Yes, she saw the twinkle and your forehead wrinkle. She moved her hips and felt your glance. You felt a tingle on your thighs. The night Rosie took you home, you saw her as a delicate rose, full and florid with a glowing beauty. You heard the tones of the oud and the rhythms of the doumbak. You were taken on a voyage, and you held on tight as you held your heartbeat and your breath pant. And Rosie took you home that night, so the moon in your eyes would bring a gentle glow to the light, dark caverns of her soul. Then Rosie unfurled a dance for you, and you had to look away from the glitter that shined in places unknown to you. And Rosie wanted you naked that night. She wanted every inch. She wanted to know it all. The night that Rosie took you home, you remember that, don't you? I see that smile across your face. You have memories that were buried for a while, and now they rise up like a river, spilling over its banks, and the rushing waters flow again, and the sensations pour back again, and you feel again the quaking quiver you felt in the middle of the night that Rosie took you home. Thank you for listening. I am reading the poetry of Jack Zaffos today. Next up, I'm going to share with you a poem called There is a Troubled Soul. Ooh, 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 ooh. There is a troubled soul tonight, moping in the dark, grasping on to fleeting dreams that fly high into nothing, where many lost dreams go. There is a troubled soul tonight, you can tell by the watery eyes that come from a deep sadness of having lived and having lost. A breeze blows, and the night birds call, and the full moon sends reflected rays. The heavens are on alert. There is a troubled soul tonight. That was called There is a Troubled Soul Tonight by Jack Zaffos. I've got one more to read for you. This is called On a Drizzly Eve. I love the image of that. I love the choice of the word drizzly. Walking on a drizzly eve, I hear the rain caress the flowers, beating soft-sounding rhythms that soothe a soul. It's on these walks that I gaze at a deep indigo sky of dusk and ask questions of the soul. Questions I have no answer for, and I beg the Holy One of Being for a clue, and sometimes I get a hint of grace. It is on these walks in the waning light that I know I am finite, like the day that ends. And I walk in the dusk of years, wondering if I am like an old television set or an old desktop computer that will break down into the black screen of nothing. It is in these times of awe and longing that I write my best writings, sing my best songs, and kiss my best kisses. Because at these moments, striving doesn't really matter, and I know the joy of holding hands in the starry night. And somehow I know that if we spark this power of unknowing in some ways, this world may yet be redeemed. Thank you so much for being a part of Poetry Corner. If you're tuned in, thank you so much for making poetry a part of your daily life. Please seek out Jack Zaffos at his website, jackzaffos.com, JackZaffos.com, if you would like to hear more poetry and read more of his writings. My name is Rorie Kelly. We do this every week, and if you want to tune in live, you can always do so at twitch.tv/Rorie Kelly, RORIEKELLY, at around 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time on a Monday night. May the poetry be with you until next week. What a lame closing line, but now I can't take it back. Hi, everyone. Let me look at the comments. JackZaffos.com. Thank you for popping it in there. Oh, that makes a lot of sense, actually. Yes, I could see that. Maybe that is the thing you were thinking of. Okay. Thanks. Thanks, everyone. Let me turn off my record mode. Now I have done the poetry corner, and now I will sing songs. So we're going to do Up From Here, Vulture, Super Susanna, that poem that Claire is referencing, and then Convenient. And that's what we're going to play today, I think. And if you have other requests, let me know. Let a girl know. Thanks for coming to this very, I don't know, wacky pants. That's going to be my descriptor that I use. This wacky pants edition of Monday Night Muses. I feel like it has been a wacky pants day and a wacky pants evening, and I'm grateful for you being in it with me. Thanks for having wacky pants with me, y'all. There's a pasta we buy sometimes called Wacky Mac. Highly recommend. It's very nice. It is not just a tricolor pasta. It is a 4-color quad color pasta, I guess. And it is made with, the 4th color is like a beautiful purpley color, and it's made with beets. And it tastes good, just like any other pasta, really, like tricolor pasta. And we often make our pasta dishes with it. It is a very Susanna Muses, and it is very deserved because Susanna has been lovingly and graciously gifting out subs. What an angel. Thank you. You're marvelous. By gosh. All right, I think I'm going to play on the guitar today. Y'all, I learned this weekend that apparently it is possible to hurt your foot playing the piano. If you're a piano player, there's the sustain pedal. And I don't play a real piano when I'm streaming, but I have a little sustain pedal that plugs in, and I do use the thing. And I pressed the sustain pedal so many times in my 5-hour gig last night that I hurt my ankle a little bit. I woke up in the morning and I was like, ooh, ankle's a little sore. And then driving, same foot on the gas pedal, I was like, ooh. So now I know you can, in fact, have a piano-induced injury. And you know what? I'm not complaining. I'm wearing it like a badge of honor. I feel pretty cool about it. Okay. A little shiver in my volume knob there. So that's an audio glitch. We're going to take a drink. Cheers. Oh my gosh, pasta for the 4 directions. Susanna, you put beets in your comment, and my brain just read it as bees. Like the Oprah Winfrey gif where she's just screaming bees. Anyway. Yeah, because you wrote beats, and my brain saw bees. Bees! That's my favorite Cards Against Humanity card, to be honest. Fair. Wins with me almost every time. I will remember that. Oh my gosh, speaking of which, I promise I'll play a song like any minute. Speaking of which, I'm going to be doing Poetry Corner at Pine Barrens Jam live at a festival on Long Island on August 20th. I'm really excited. If you're local, or even if you're not local and you just feel like taking a day trip, Saturday, August 20th, I'm doing Poetry Corner. Someone else, one of the other poets, unfortunately had to drop out. And so Melissa, the organizer, contacted me and was like, it's too late to book someone else. Do you want to do double Poetry Corner? Maybe the second set can be a jam session. And I'm like, yes. And then a few days later, I'm like, what did you actually mean by a jam session? And she's like, whatever you want. And I'm like, good. And what I was thinking of doing is doing Poetry Against Humanity, like literally lining up the other poets with microphones near me and just having them have poetry in front of them and just like pointing at them to blurt out lines of poetry as I layered music underneath. I love like chaotic art. So I don't know, that might happen at the Pine Barrens Jam. And if you're excited about that, pinebarrensjam.com is the place to go buy tickets. And if you're not excited about that, please go buy tickets anyway and go to a different stage and don't watch me. But watch me, it's going to be so fun. Yes, little pine friends. Yeah, like weird Muse-flavored poetry slam. Okay. Should we talk about the loss of tiny objects, very small specific parts without which nothing can be fixed? Should we talk about Mercury retrograde? It's totally cool, I love to put the past in perspective, but now that we are back in the present, everyone in my life seems to be broken. Should we talk about my psychological state? Let's not play with fire here, it's already been a long day. You cannot be serious the way you're jerking me around. This bad luck is hilarious, 'cause you can't keep this fucker down. Should we talk about guitars and cars and bank accounts? It's a Russian roulette. Where will the problem be today? I am one headlight short of a bright outlook. That's not a metaphor. I hope I don't get pulled over anyway. True story, I actually am missing a headlight right now and I really need to replace it. I thank my lucky stars that I am good in a crisis. And thank the universe for giving me so much practice. Oh, you cannot be serious the way you're jerking me around. This bad luck is hilarious, 'cause you can't keep this fucker down. Don't threaten me with a good time, I wouldn't know what to do with it. Everything will be just fine as soon as I find my keys and my wallet. This is your part, sing along with me. I can only go up from here. I can only go up, up. I can only go up from here. I can only go up, up. I can only go up from here. I can only go up. I can only go up from here. I can only go up. I can only go up from here. I can only go up. I can only go up from here. I can only go up. Let me adjust my volume a little bit. That loop's getting kind of loud. Gosh, Rorie. Oh, you cannot be serious the way you're jerking me around. This bad luck is hilarious, 'cause you can't keep this fucker down. You cannot be serious the way you're jerking me around. This bad luck is hilarious, 'cause you can't keep this fucker down. No, 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 watch me turn my luck around. 'Cause you can't keep this fucker down. Hey, hey, Thank you, friends. That song is called Up From Here. Subaru lights are, I don't know if I would call it easier, if I've just done it enough times that it's easy to me now. It's like they want your hand to be the size of a child's hand, like the way you have to like kind of angle yourself to get the headlight in. But luckily, I have tiny weird child wrists, so it's okay. But yeah, I knew it was coming. I had to like go out, and I was like, if one's going, the other one's gonna go. So I bought a pair. I did a good thing for future Rorie, and now the second one, sure enough, has gone out. So we'll see. Ooh. Okay, you reminded me, I forgot to mention we were playing a festival in upstate New York the last weekend in August, and you can DM me for passes. Oh my god, everybody, please DM Leland Sundries for passes to the Meadowlark Fest. Sweet! That's awesome. Okay, all right, this girl is added to the list. I know there's a couple other things I'm playing, and it's time for me to use my brain on that. Okay, we're doing Vulture, Super Susanna, the poem Claire wanted, Convenient, This Girl. That's what's on the list. Vulture is such a good song for me getting in touch with my darkness. I mean, I guess that's literally what I wrote it about. Carol, it's your favorite time. I'm tuning. Here, you know what? I better tune the bass too, huh? There we go. Okay. I'm such a nerd. I got a vulture in my heart. Feeds on pain, she feeds on scars. It tries to make me think we're one and the same. But I am not, I am not, I am not, I am not you. I am not, I am not, I am not, I am not. Oh, mother, the sky is calling me. What else could I do? Oh, father, I'm trying anyway. 'Cause I learned that from you. I had to let it go too. I learned it before I hear words to say no. water slipping under my skin in the summer. I built myself around the paradox. But I am not all that good at playing that riff tonight. I am not. Oh, mother, the sky is calling me. What else could I do? Father, I'm trying anyway, 'cause I learned that from you. To let it go to. What do these words mean to you? What do these words mean? A bridge and a bird and a diamond at his throat. The glittering stone keeps it close to the boat. The sun goes down every day around 3, and it rains and it storms and it pours, and the birds don't ever break free. The wind is not held by a leash, and the day you're wrapping up your mind. I do not intend to make mine. No, mother. The sky is calling me. What else could I do? Oh, Father, ooh, I'm trying anyway, 'cause I learned that from you. Had to let it go too. Thank you, friends. That song is called Vulture. If you like it, it's on my album Rising, Rising, Rising. It's the last track. It's the last track of my like positive empowerment album, in which I'm like, let's just go back to the darkness before I leave you. You can find it on Spotify. You can find it on Apple Music. All the places you might look for a song. All right, this one you cannot find in such places. It is accessible to my patrons. There is a patron download of it. I'm going to play you all Super Susanna. This is a song I wrote about my friend Susanna. So, funny story. I want to find my lyrics. So, the reason I wrote this song originally is because Susanna came along on a road trip with me and my friend, our mutual friend, Lisa. And we were both performing at this, it wasn't a festival, it was the Pittsburgh Marathon. So it was really funny because I remember thinking to myself, this is great. This is a great way. So sorry, I leaned on my piano. This is a great way for me to like, make new fans, is go to Pittsburgh and get like, maybe I'll walk away with people on my mailing list. Right. And then we set up and I quickly realized that I'm like performing to people who were just like running by me and they're just like, oh, she's playing music. So I did not, in fact, leave with any mailing list signups. However, Susanna came along, and Susanna was like just the most helpful human. Like everything that could go wrong did go wrong, and Susanna was there in a pinch to like just make stuff work, and it was lovely. So I wrote this song, Super Susanna, and then didn't finish it for years and years and years until 2020, when I ran out of excuses about a lot of things, including this song. So here we are. So some of the lyrics do reflect those 2020 vibes, because Susanna continues to be super in new and different ways. That's right, you weren't even a runner yet. But when I did the race myself, it was great to have the music. Yeah, like people did seem happy to have the music. They were like, they were running by like glad to see us. You know what I mean? But it was just like, but hi, bye. Good to see you. Yeah. It was funny too, because like Lisa and I had set up a set together because I was accompanying her on guitar, and it was like a set of like really sensitive music, and we're playing like Sarah Bareilles' Gravity and Lisa Loeb's Stay, which is a little bit upbeat, and like a couple other like stuff that's not exactly dark, but definitely like slow tempo, like songs that make you feel things for the runners. Like we should have been playing like Eye of the Tiger, and instead we're like, here are my feelings about this, ooh. The poor runners, like, looking for a second wind, and that's what they get from us. But whatever, it was really fun. Okay. standing on the front lines, wearing a mask, with her hair in a wrap and vegan treats in hand. Super Susanna is coming to save us, with a face that you want to confide in, and a voice that makes you wanna listen. Super Susanna is on the case. Super Susanna, Super Susanna, she'll be there when you call. Susanna, Super Susanna, she's coming to save us all. Popping in her headphones, out for a run, getting more done than the moon and the sun. Super Susanna is coming to save us, getting all A's cause she's master class and kicking ass and taking names like Surreal the Assassin. Super Susanna is on the case. Super Susanna, Super Susanna, she's keeping things on track. Susanna, Super Susanna, someone make her tape a nap. And if you wanna win her favor, try an offering of caffeine. For early 2000s emo MP3, but all of this emotional labor, it's a lot for anyone, so please handle her with caution. Super Susanna, Super Susanna, be there when you call. Susanna, Super Susanna, she's coming to save us. Modulate with me. Super Susanna, Super Susanna, she'll be there when you call. Susanna, Super Susanna, she's coming to save us all. Oh, oh, someone get this girl a White Claw. Oh, oh, because she saves the world a lot. Thank you, friends. And that's Super Susanna. Ooh, big mood. A marathon is all about a valley of feels. I can understand that. I never was a serious runner, but I did couch to 5K. On and off I have done, I'm going to be honest with myself and call it jogging. On and off I have done jogging over the years. And when I've gotten into it in a healthy way, it has felt good because it has allowed me to get emotional. And I did listen to slow songs sometimes on my headphones. And big feels songs. You're welcome. You deserve super songs. All right. Now I'm going to read that poem that Claire wants to hear. I'm going to have to go get that poem, which is in a notebook, which is in my bag. So let me set up something looping for you. I'm just warning you, it's kind of a depressing poem. I can't remember what I'm playing after it, but I'll try to make it upbeat. Did I just make a noise with my keyboard? I'm so sorry. LOL, wrong bag, it's in my closet. around the room looking accidentally goth. Cool. Hope you're also enjoying the really loud noises as I find my notebook. Okay. No, don't apologize. I always mean to have my notebook with me or whatever poetry I can have with me. And it's not bad to have the reminder. The irony is I could have just reached to the side and I didn't know it. Skorts, baby. Skorts, baby. Oh, good. I'm really glad. I definitely knocked a few things over on the way. And I was great, if the mic picks that up, take a drink. Okay, so here's my super depressing poem. It's called Rainbow and Lightning Privileges. You know what? This is a place for us to grieve. I'm just gonna say it. For anyone who has things in their life that they need to grieve, I'm talking about the grief of lost opportunities, the grief of what you felt could have been, the grief of what you were hoping for. We've all had that, right? I feel that's part of when we walk out of a relationship. That's half of it. It's not just losing the person, it's losing the future you thought you were gonna have. And that's kind of what this poem is about. And any minute now, I'm gonna find it and read it to you. Where are you? I know I marked the page. So anyway, if you have felt that kind of grief in your life, this poem is for you. I just want to know I see you. I want you to know I see you, I care. I feel you, you're not alone. You know what I'm saying? Some people drive around the country chasing rainbows and lightning. But if life never once filled up your gas tank, it feels like one long, drawn-out hunt and gather. And rainbows and lightning just never seem to be on the menu. And at some point, you forget to keep checking. You're just out here foraging for something sustaining every day, but all you ever find is pine needles and poison berries. You have to scrape on by and try again tomorrow. And you're so disheveled now from living rough and getting by, you don't even look like someone who ever thought about getting in a car to chase rainbows. You kind of have an accent now. It doesn't speak of where you're from. It just says tired, blue collar, inoffensive, daily struggle. Imagine someone like that on a quest to meet a unicorn. It's actually charming, but unrealistic because someone's got to pay the bills, and it seems like it's gotta be you. Don't people who chase rainbows ever have to pay bills? Do they live a charmed, bill-less existence? Where do I sign up for that? You sound like a grumpy old man now, and you hate it, but you're tired. You're so tired. Too tired to try to school some hope into your words. Maybe that would be dishonest anyway at this point. And some weeks, you think that maybe your luck is changing, like a gambler reading the universe's tells through slitted eyes. But you're a tired old gambler, just going through the motions, too grizzled to really believe in the big break payout anymore. But that old universe sure is happy to take from you. Chunks of cash just too big to ever quite be in reach. So you use up all your luck, just paying down debt. And the house always wins. Where were we? Rainbows. A Judy Garland tune played on the crackly FM radio of a dive bar full of old gray men. A caricature of the hope we once had, a meme about how basic needs are luxuries now, the old men agreeing in unspoken words about how somehow the reason Sears had to close comes back to avocado toast. You guess you should maybe say something, but there's not even enough there to argue with. If you caught your reflection in the mirror behind the bar, would you find yourself a gray old man too? The question was never really about whether rainbows and lightning are worth chasing. But does everyone actually get to chase them if they wish? You've never been a believer in predetermination. It feels insulting, gets your back up, the implication that you are not the master of your own destiny. Yet here you are, wondering if you were homesick the day they handed out rainbow and lightning privileges. why you've never worked so hard in pursuit of fleeting moments of freedom, while others seem born with the wind in their hair. Did you do something wrong along the way? Some critical, unnoticed personal failure? Or do some people not get to chase rainbows? Neither belief feels appealing. But you haven't stumbled onto a third option yet, and time always seems to run short. Just realized I don't know what key I was playing in. I guess it was C. Okay. Anyway, so that poem is called Rainbow and Lightning Privileges, and I realized the first time I read it aloud that it's incredibly depressing. It's one of these poems, I wouldn't call it a download poem. I would call it more like a poem that poured out of me. During, actually, Delaney Hafner's set. If anyone knows Delaney Hafner from the Bell Curves, she performed at a series that I musically curated, and it was really, really nice getting to like hear her in that space. It was in an art gallery. It was very listening-y, and getting to hear the stories behind the songs and getting to really think about her lyrics. And as she was performing, I was writing that poem. And then I got done with it, and I was like, this feels so nice. I wrote a poem in an art gallery listening to a musician whose songs I really love. And then I read it the next time I had like a poetry performance, and I'm like, oh, that's profoundly depressing. That's a really depressing poem. About freaking time. My ice was melting. Amazing. Okay, people are feeling it. Feel it 100%. I felt that for sure. Yeah, it's a thing. I think, hey, thank you so much. I think that, I don't know. I think grief is real, and I think we got a lot to grieve. Like maybe as a whole culture right now after the last 2 years, but I feel like we can now be like, as a human race or whatever, like emotionally aware and maybe trauma informed enough to realize that like grief is bigger than just losing things and losing people, that it's losing missed opportunities and losing kind of like a dream you had for the future. Even if you're happy about the way your life turned out, it still is something to grieve. You know what I mean? Anyway, here's Wonderwall. Anyway, this is a song called Convenient. I wrote this song when I was living in Ohio. I was thinking a little bit about that time in my life. I moved out when I was 18 years old. And my girlfriend at the time was going to school in Ohio. And I'll tell you, I grew up on Long Island. It was a lot easier to move to southwestern Ohio and pay the rents there than it was to pay the rents here at 18 years old. It was kind of like a little stepping stone for me. And to make you all sad, what I paid for rent that first year was $450 a month for a one bedroom, not a studio, one bedroom. And anyway, I wrote this song about friendships. I didn't really have my own friends at that time. I kind of had her friends. You know how that is, you know, like you're with someone, especially if like I was in a new area. And I always kind of meant to make friends, and I just was too busy with the business of like supporting myself and learning what it was like to be an adult. And this was about someone who kind of turned out to be like a fair weather friend. Why don't you cry about it? Always works. I will do anything to fix life out it. Biggest perk, a walking benefit of doubt. You want so badly for me to feel the same way you do now. And I know what it is to love to be in someone's presence and later hate their guts for it. But also I know what I am to you. Don't think I can't see right through your kindness too. Convenient, it's my middle name. So take me out to dinner. I will be touched by the gesture and forget if I had a problem. Do you ever feel like you are in another country speaking French? And every now and then you think of something that's in English, but it doesn't last for long. So yeah, let's play another couple hands, talk about the hazards of drinking. But I won't actually do any. I don't wanna be on my balance with you, 'cause I know what our friendship means. I know just how much help a willing ride can be. I already know what you're gonna say, so you don't have to tell me. See, convenient is my middle name. So tell me what has happened in your own words, in your own words. I wanna know what you think this means to me, and all it doesn't mean to you when you say what happened, happened, and the past is in the past. Even 5 minutes ago in the white girl, 5 minutes ago, you said, baby, will you keep it quiet for just 5 minutes so I can turn it around, so I am the victim. Keep it quiet for just 5 minutes so I can make it through. We always were at war with East Asia, and always were allied with your Asia and your nature. Baby, makes it easier for me. But I know who I am to you. I know just how much help and what you're going through can be. Yes, it's my middle name. I will keep quiet so you can have the satisfaction knowing that this has ended politely, so you can go home taking me to your mommy. She was right about me. See, I know what our friendship means. I know just how much help a willing ride can be. I know everything do for you. See, convenient is my middle name. Thank you, friends. All right, this is going to be my last song. Hey, David, thank you for tuning in. How you doing? It has been a crazy day here, too. You missed some wacky... We've named this the Wacky Pants broadcast, and every time there's an audio glitch, we take a drink. And there wasn't an audio glitch right now, but just to prove I'm serious. Cheers! So, hey, if you like that song I just played, I don't play it very often anymore. It's called Convenient, and you can find it on Spotify and all of that. Both a studio version as well as a live version, which features Ms. Claire Raby singing the bridge. And I always really feel like that's the definitive way that song should be sung, with me and Claire. So if you want to hear that, you can. I've got 8% left on my iPad, and my iPad powers my keyboard. So we're going to see how this goes. I'll switch to guitar if I have to, whatever. It's fine. It's fine. That's this kind of day. Thank you very much. Thank you. That's really a compliment coming from you. I don't know if I've ever gotten to tell you, but I really, really like your lyrics. They always give me pause and make me stop and kind of picture what you're describing. And it's really unique imagery. So thank you for that. I like art that makes me pause and think about it. Claire bridges are the best bridges. We just need clarification. Sorry, but the schedule's full right now. Sorry, but we found somebody else. Sorry, but we can't afford to pay you tonight. Sorry, I had to cancel. I hope it's alright. I'm so far from alright. I come out the other side, and this girl won't back down, and this girl won't back down. Whoa, this girl won't back down, and this girl won't back down. Oh, oh, oh. gotta suck it up and press on. Guess I'll be alright. I guess the nightmares will remind me that I got to the other side, 'cause I can't live inside the past. The time just goes so fast, and this girl won't back down, won't back down, and this girl won't back down. Oh, this girl won't back down, won't back down, and this girl won't back down. Oh, 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 I learned to get punished for sticking out. I learned to be strong and never shut my mouth. I learned the resistance is fuel. I won't let you make me a fool. I use the resistance as fuel. 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 This girl won't back down, won't back down, and this girl won't back down, won't back down, and this girl won't back down, won't back down, and this girl won't back down, won't back down, and this I use the resistance as fuel. I use the resistance as fuel. I use the resistance as fuel. Whoa! I use the resistance as fuel. 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 Whoa! I use the resistance as fuel. I use the resistance as fuel. I use the resistance as fuel. Oh, oh, oh. Thank you so much, everybody. All right, it's time to go on a raid. Who's ready for a raid? Let's see who is on the Twitch machine. So at the end of every broadcast is what we do. We go raid someone who is also performing, and we bring the party to them. Because why not? Like, let's spread the love, right? All right, so let's see. I don't see a ton of people on. I do see Schnaff, and we were gonna raid Schnaff last night, and we didn't get around to it. You want to raid Schnaff or Emmy Law Music? Because I know I've had requests for both recently. Who's got an opinion right now? Schnaff is a classical guitar and piano player who does not take requests, which I admire, but does a really wide variety of music. Like, I've heard him do, like classic folk songs. I've heard him do just classical pieces. It's really cool, and he's really, like, skilled. Emmy Law Music is a singer-songwriter. She's got a really special, delicate, unique voice, and often does live songwriting sessions, which I think is really neat. So, who should we raid? Okay, looks like we're raiding Emmy Law. Sounds good. As always, my friend, I will sing you out. Raid. Let me type that raid command in. Raid Emmy Law Music. Here we go. And as always, I'll sing it out. I want to thank you so much for tuning in. Tune back in on Sunday night. Because I'll be doing Can't Find My Keys. And also, if you get a chance, I want to ask you to follow me if you're not already following me. If you're the kind of person who is enjoys getting notifications about things, because I know that's not for everyone. But if you turn on notifications, I often go live when I'm at a gig, and I just really optimized. So sorry. It's my own Twitch channel making noise. I just optimized my sound setup in a way that lets me take a monitor mix and give you much better sound at gigs. So if you turn on notifications, you will know when I'm playing live at a gig. You'll get a little alert on your phone, and you can tune in. All right, we're going on a raid. Bye, everybody.